Hi, hi-fi people, Kelvin here. Been out buying things on Gumtree and I got a couple of bargains, which you don't always get. Things don't always work out, or sometimes you have to come home because the thing doesn't work. These worked. I got Ariston RD 60 turntable, £30. Why was it £30? Even though the person said it worked perfectly, it didn't work perfectly, but that was easy to fix. There's a couple of fixes and I'll tell you all about it in a second. And I've got Sansui Model 2000. That's a great thing. £60. Again, person said it was working perfectly. It wasn't, but it was easily fixed. For someone like me, I'm not an electrical engineer, but I could fix this. £60 with the Jamo speakers thrown in, or part of the deal, £60. Let me just say, when you're trying to buy things second hand, Gumtree here in England, you're going to probably go and collect them. So I had to drive an hour and back. So it was about a 2.5 hour trip, to be honest, to get that. And that was probably a nearly 2 hour trip to go and get that. And I've done those trips and got there and had to just leave it because the thing wasn't working at all. But it's not easy. That's what I want to say. And you have to look at it every day or twice a day. And only does a bargain come up really rarely, really rare. So it's a lot of work. So it's not easily done. Anyway, let me do technical stuff on these two. I will have a good look at them. I'll tell you how I fix them. And then we'll do the sound. Okay. So this Ariston, nice looking thing. Sub-chassis suspension. Yes. Boing, boing, boing. What was wrong with this, I turned it on and it just had a scraping noise, and the springs under here, they go softer in time. So I had to tighten those up because it was just rubbing. It was touching the edge here, So the person that had it probably thought, oh, this is something really wrong, and they couldn't figure it out. And this arm was actually rotating, wasn't secure, and that was just an Allen key to tighten it up. Comes with a came with a Nagoka MP10 cartridge, which I had that back in the day. I'm not super mad about it, but it's a decent thing for sure. Worth noting, first thing I did, if you've got any old turntable more than 10 years old even, I would say, hang on, this is from the mid-80s. Get some oil onto this. That's a big win. You can literally hear it. This has had no oil probably in its whole life. Okay. Oh, see, that's aluminium. Not as robust as my Thorens 150, which is like steel or cast steel. Let me just get that back there. So, managed to fix that up quite easily. Now, this Sansui, again, interesting. I got there, it was working, they had it working, both channels. I didn't even notice this. What it turned out was they had both sets of speakers on. I don't think the lady knew this at all. I'm not blaming her one bit, and I'm perfectly happy. I would have bought it even if it was broken or wasn't working at all, because this is a lovely thing that I've wanted for a long time. But they had both sets of speakers on, so they're using the right channel of both sets of speakers because one channel wasn't working. And this just turned out to be a fuse at the back. Super easy to get at. It's written on there what the value is. I have a box of fuses, fast blow fuses. So I was managed, so I could change that, and it's working. This is so old, 1967 this was made to 1970, and I think it's about 32 watts. But it's a very robust 32 watts. Okay, let's do the sound of these two. if you were to work out the prices of these from back in the day to what they are now, this would be probably, a £1,200 turntable. And this amp actually would probably be even more expensive. This was probably, I think, $300. Am I right? No, hang on, I'm getting my sums wrong. It would be a lot. I'm going to work it out. Hang on. Okay, I just calculated that, and I did it on a inflation calculator. The original price, it said $300 in 1970. So it was in dollars. So I did it in dollars. It comes out at $2,400 at today's money. That even sounds too high to me. But, these things were prestigious, expensive things. So imagine if that's true. I mean, it's not going to be far off it. Imagine if that's 1,500, that's 1,200. It's like £2.5 grand worth of kit, yeah, for £100. Who knows how long it'll last or what work you have to do on it. But essentially, there's some class there. There's some work and some effort. Okay, let's do the sound of these, which is very interesting. I've been comparing this to 2 other decks, messing around with the cartridges. I mean, I've got to say, to really comprehend the sound of a deck and the arm, it's a tricky thing. But what emerges is each deck will have accentuating certain qualities, is probably the easiest way I can put it, I mean, this deck is pretty nice. I thinking or not liking this arm too much. This is a heavy arm. I mean, they say this was similar to an RB300, which is a Riga arm, if I'm correct. I just never really liked that arm. I prefer a light arm. The light, I mean, most arms are light, I know, but, some of them are heavier than others. I find a lighter arm is faster. It's more articulate. When the drum go ding, 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 ding across the soundstage, it just travels quicker. It has delicacy and speed, just generally speaking, Anyway, that's my feeling. But as I say, things get very tricky with turntables because even if you change the cartridge, you better make sure it's tight, similarly tight, and the weight is exactly the same, and the mat is the same. So many variables messing around with arms and cartridges. Basically, this is superior to my Sansui 222, I think it is, and is inferior to my Thorens 150 with an SME arm, which you would expect. But basically, it's pretty articulate. I'm just going to say it's a pretty good turntable, yes. Speed-wise, it seems to be functioning fine. If you want to go to 45, you have to do that with your finger. Unless I'm missing something, but I think you have to lift it up and move it with your finger, which doesn't bother me. Okay, now, this is the fun part as far as I'm concerned. The sound of this Sansui. This is the early Sansui. This is where Sansui made their reputation. In the late 60s and early 70s, I don't know what happened after that, or, into the 70s, things got a bit blurry for Sansui. This has got bass that you associate with a pre-power amp combination. Just really good amplification. And the delicacy in the mid and the top is valvey, but in the bass, it's got so much grip. It's got better bass, and I'm just going to say that categorically because it's, I'm just going to say it's just better, detailed, refined, structured, you know what I mean? Just real quality bass, better than, more or less, better than all the other Sansuis I have. I wouldn't say it has the perfect voicing. There seems to be just a sort of something I don't like in the lower mid. Not I don't like, but something incohesive, just a little bit incohesive, where, I don't know, the bass is really good, grip, tight, powerful, detailed. sort of upper bass to mid just seems to disappear a little bit. Just seems to disappear a little bit. But then voices and, you know, things like cymbals. There is nothing better than, what was I listening to? Pink Floyd. Oh God, what is it? Not Time. The Machine. Welcome to the Machine. It's got this mechanical noise and just space and articulacy in the top. This amp, if the bass goes dung, ting, ting, just on the ride cymbal, that will be just sublime. Just sublime. I mean, I feel like voices are a little bit backwards. You know, it is a little bit recessed. And I do mean a little bit. But really, this is such an enjoyable sound and amp. So enjoyable. So involving. Also, yeah, this is a thing that I don't often think about myself. But this really has the, you know, the quiet background, the velvet soundstage. You know, I don't personally care if there's a teeny bit of hiss most of the time, as long as the sound is good. But this one has got this black velvet thing that kind of draws you in. Yeah, makes you want to enter the room. Just is involving. Anyway, yeah, valvey in the top and bass, like the really good transistor bass. Great. Just a great thing, you know. I'm delighted to have this. And if it goes wrong, you know, I'm going to fix it. I can't imagine it's going to go on for 10 years more, can you? But these Sansuis, they just seem to last a long time. Much better than other equipment, amps. I'm talking about amps and receivers. You know, I personally don't rate the Sansui speakers, just to let you know. So, you know, this was a bargain that really worked out for me. Other times it doesn't work out and you have to come home again. It's a waste of time. That happens. But, you know, these are both quality bits of kit. And a bit of love and attention. You've got, even if I spent 500 quid on that, I wouldn't care. Because it's such quality. And it looks great. Got all these nice things. Reverse. Really, you know when you're in an old amp, when you get this reverse, when it changes left to right. Loudness, muting, mono. It's always nice to have a mono. High filter, low filter. If you look at these bass and treble controls, it does suggest that you can control each one separately, but I actually couldn't make them move, so I left it, you know. So anyway, that's about it today. Press like if you like it and subscribe. That's it for now. Okay, bye now.